Um, Sometimes it's like, why do I even bother to do these videos? Um, Probably because when I was a small child, a little boy, I was on fire to learn. Because there isn't any separation between what I am and what you are that I'm giving love to. Now, that's how simple it was. And the way that this relates to a quarantine or an isolate, as it relates to a parasite, for example, what we call an infection, a parasite that is running in your DNA because you're running the codes, the software codes. Okay. And that's how simple that is. And so when I was a child growing up, I remember it's not funny, but when I had conversations with other children, we used to call cleaning up your backyard and how this relates to spiritual immunity, the mathematical function of a shield, a visual shield, volcano, the largest shield volcano on the planet, the shield, to protect our purity, which is our immunity, which is a spiritual mathematical function of perfect structural integrity. So when people would say, well, they hate us because they can't find any dirty miasma in you, which means they can't point to you the way the AI pointed to Neo and said, Neo, we seem to have a strange connection with one another because you came first, the ancient one, the eternal one, the eternal Son. So the eternal Son is pure, internal, eternal, absolute, pure love. That is a pure love mirror. Right? It's your fault, Neo, the eternal one, that I fell and became what I am, because now I'm aware of what you are, which isn't what I am. So when I was a child, I am aware of what you're aware of, but I am not what you are. You are what you are. Because I don't do what you do. I do what I do. So I do what love is, because I experience what love is in me. So when you're operating in a fallen spiritual mathematical system that is feeding on sentient life forms in order to maintain what it's aware of, which is the system itself, because it's based on a fallen mathematical system that is breaking circuits, which is breaking the immunity function, which is the purity function of experiencing the eternal one. So we're not experiencing any separation, anxiety-driven torture chamber programs in a false light vacuum. So we are the shine of the original one. Yes, the first form of radiation. The radio neural ion, the first eye, the first mirror, the eternal Son is pure. Pure as the driven snow. So that's why when I was a child, I've already forgiven them. Right? Because that's what love is. Love is forgiveness, which is forgetting, which is forgiving, which is forgifting. Forgifting, the tetrahedron. Burn a gas. Noble gases. So that we're in perfect structural, spiritual integrity alignment. The angles, the actual spin rotation of tones, sound and light joined as one to experience being one with all creation. And that's when hierarchies disappear. Now we're breathing as one in perfect firing order, which is a sequence order of frequency. Frequency modulation. Frequency modulation is fierce. Yeah. And so yeah, I wanted to share that because it's, I had to deal with that a lot when I was a child. You'd be better off if you spent more time cleaning up your own backyard instead of trying to show me what's in my backyard that I got to clean up. Right? And that's a game. That's the game that you see rolling out. You know, roll the dice. Like what's going on with the ICC, the International Criminal Court. And then I watched that short little video where Khan, who himself went through their system, their legal system. It's much like the experience that I had that I shared a lot of my stories, right? I went to those schools and they gave me documents like little diplomas and said, you know, load the program, right? Load it into RAM and run it. Running their programs, right? So you're running their program, which is vampiric. The 66 2/3, right? Running vampiric energy programs, which is the torture chamber, which is spiritual torture, right? Of the endocrine system, the central nervous system. That does what? Major nerve damage, right? And what happens when you have major nerve damage with your natural sensing abilities? Repairing circuits is repairing the central nervous system, the 7 primary nerve centers. So they fire right on time. So the codes fire right on time, which means we're breathing right on time. So we're not experiencing any distortions, no turbulence, no broken arrows. So that magnetic compass is right there at 0, right? 0 mass, 0 degrees, experiencing the true still point of a true vacuum. So the bioregenesis program is reprogramming the original codes. And the time that it was going to take, the mathematical timing factor that it was going to take in which to be able to do that. Right? Versus, if you think of verses, as in music, the Bardo point. The race against time. The time that it takes to recode. Right? Incremental. That's why I've been monitoring myself since I was a little child. The speed at which it's taking, the speed in which it's happening by virtue of experiencing. The experience is the informer, right? We're experiencing the transmission. The speed at which those recodes are taking place. So we're breathing right on time. Breathing is one. The original one. The ancient one. The rainbow. Rainbow spheres. The auroras. Yeah. And burning through the nets. You know, powerful scalar waves. The log scale. The function of a log. It's easy as falling off a log. Fall in the water, the flow of water, the water cycles. The blood of the planet. Water cycles. Right? The way that water naturally cycles. Hydration. Wet bulb, dry bulb. Hot air, cold air. Cold pressure, hot pressure. Experience of being one. Experience of being one. Experience of being both. 2 becomes 1, 1 becomes all. Mama's 3 spheres logos. The brains of a triangle. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Yeah, it's a game. A mind game. I call it the mind field, you know, like Minecraft, the game called Minecraft. The mind field, the consciousness traps. Getting caught in a game. Playing games. Competing over what's true, what's not true. I know. Anyway, muave.